Hello again. Welcome back for part two. Okay. It seems they changed my time limit. I can now go over 5 minutes, which is amazing. Okay, so in our last video, we were trying to put a screen size calculator into Excel, or we're trying to make Excel find screen sizes for us. So we have the diagonal dimension, we have the aspect ratio of it, which tells us the shape of the rectangle. And then we went ahead and we're using Pythagorean theorem. So we calculated our a squared, b squared, and then we added those up for c squared. And we took the square root, and that's where we left off. So now that we have our c value, we know our d value. Now we have two similar sides. So because we have those, we can now find the scale factor. And the scale factor is the number that we're going to multiply everything by so that we can get the actual dimensions. So I'm going to merge and center to combine that. Type scale factor. So on my videos for Excel, you'll see that I use this merge and center right here a lot. Usually on my regular desktop, I expand this so I get all my options and I feel all cool, but I'm just trying to make space for right now. When you first open Office 365, this is what you see, this little collapsed view up here. Okay, so scale factor, I'm gonna make that bold. I'm gonna underline it because I'm cool like that. And I wanna calculate my scale factor. I'm gonna unbold that. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna bold that. And for bold, I just push Control B. That's bold. Okay, my scale factor is a ratio to D to C. So what we're looking for is we're looking for D divided by C, like that. That's my scale factor. I can make a note of that. And in fact, what I would probably do is when I'm done here, I would make a note section outlining, okay, what this spreadsheet is, what it does, what it means when I have these. I'm actually going to go ahead and start that. Notes. You always want to add notes on your spreadsheet, mainly because if you leave this spreadsheet and you come back in 2 years, you don't want to have to sit and try to figure it out. Okay, if you have notes to yourself, then it makes it easy. Okay, so input cells, I'm going to highlight both of these, and I'm going to turn them yellow, because what this tells me, okay, if you do that, like, so notice I had this like clicked in, ready to go to type, and it won't let me click out anything else. If it's not letting you do what you wanted to do, click off into some other cell or hit escape, and then click back in so you don't have the cursor flashing, and then it'll make these things available again. Okay. Da-da-da. So now I know that anytime I see a yellow cell, that means I have to put numbers in that. But these are the only ones I change. All of the rest of this stuff, all the calculations and everything, Excel does for me, and that's why we like Excel. Okay, so my scale factor is my large diagonal divided by my small diagonal. And really, it could be any two similar sides. So if I know the width already, and of course A is 16, I could use those. But in this case, we're going to assume that we have the diagonal because that's what you normally have, and the scale factor. So this is going to be equals. And I want D, so I'm going to click up on this. I'm not going to type 55, even though that's my D value right now. I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to divide, which is the little slash mark by the question mark, over on the right side near shift. And I'm going to click on my C value. So for me, it depends on where your stuff is, but mine are located in B4 and B14. So I'm going to do equals B4 divided by B14 and hit enter. So my scale factor is 2.996. And that's good. So now I have my scale factor. Since I know my scale factor, that's the number that I can use to find my width and my height, because my similar sides in this case are A and W and B and H. So what I'm doing is I'm taking, let me draw an arrow so I can be all cool. Okay, I am taking, that's a very big arrow. Let me shrink this down, make it even cooler. I am taking A, I'm multiplying it by my scale factor, and that's going to give me my W value. So in this case, my scale factor is 2.996. I'm not going to type that. The first thing I want to do is I want to merge these three cells. I'm going to call it dimensions. And I'm going to bold that, underline it because we're cool. Okay, so the dimensions that I'm finding are width and height. So my width then, if I look at the diagram, I want to take my A value and multiply it by my scale factor. So I'm going to go equals You want to click on your A value, which is 16. Don't type that, just click it. Times, and to get the times, it's Shift and 8. It gives you the little star thingy. And then you're going to click on your scale factor. So in my case, it's B7 times B17. Sorry about the noise. I'm recording in the break room. Okay, so equals B7 star B17, and that star is Shift 8. So the width of my TV is 47.93665. I'm going to do the same thing for height. I go equals. This time I'm going to click on a 9. Shift 8 for times. Click on my scale factor and enter. So it's B8 times B17. So now I have those are the dimensions of my TV. But wait, there's more. That's actually, we're done. That's what we were looking for. Now this spreadsheet is only 21 lines long. A lot of spreadsheets that you do will be way, way, way longer. They could be thousands of lines long. So what I usually do is I don't want to have to make people, including myself, scroll down through thousands of lines to try to find the answers. I'm going to put a box up here near the top to make it easy to find. So I'm going to skip some columns to get off into like a clear area. I'm going to merge and center 3 of them, and I'm going to call it answers. I might even make them capitalized to like be like yelling at the people like, hey, this is your answers. Pay attention. Okay. Now, I'm going to bold it, underline it. Now, first, before I do this, I need to put my units in. So in this case, we're using inches. Now notice I waited till the very end because I didn't want it to mess with our calculations. Up here at 55, I'm going to put inches. You put it in the cell next to it. If you accidentally put it in with the 55, so say I type 55 inches, notice that when I go down now, nothing works. And it's because there are letters in here. So if I change that back to numbers, things work again. So you always want your any units, any like comments or notes or whatever have to be in different cells. It can't be with your number. So now with my scale factor has the same units as my D value. 16 and 9 don't have any units at all. So I'm going to go equals, and I'm going to click up here and go up here, and I'm going to click on the cell that has inches. So it automatically copies. So now I'm going to do the same here. I'm just going to refer it to here and refer it to here. So now I have my actual units. So, okay, this is the cool part. Up here for my answers, I want to grab whatever I just calculated. I don't want to have to do calculations again because we already did that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go equals. I'm going to scroll down here to my W. I'm going to click on the W. I'm going to hit enter. Once you do that, it pulls the W right up here. So notice it pulled it right here. Now, I don't want to have to do that for all 6 of these squares. In this case, we only have 6 cells, but you might have a lot more. So I don't want to have to do it for all of them. And luckily, we don't have to. So you have this W. And notice that when my cursor is in the middle, it's a big giant plus sign. But if I go to the bottom right corner, it turns into a little plus sign. If I click and drag that, so down here with my W, it's 3 cells across. So if I go up here and I go to my little corner and I click it and I drag it over, so it's 3, it automatically fills it in. And then notice it's 2 lines long. So I grab my corner, I click and drag, and it filled it in again. So I didn't have to do anything. So now I'm going to bold those. What I'm going to do with my answers, because we don't need it to be that accurate. This is a TV size, and I know that I'm not that good with a measuring tape. I want to have 1 decimal. If you look up here where this general box is, to the right of it, you have increased decimal and you have decrease. So if I'm going to click on that and click on it several times, I'm going to take it down to 1 decimal place. So we're almost done. I'm just going to draw a box around this. So I'm going to select everything, go up to my borders, thick outside border, and we're done. So now you have your screen size thing all set up. We've calculated everything. We've got our answers, and you're good. Yay.